Hey there, this is Jaran. I'm the facility manager at the Deep Earth Anomaly Department, located on the coastal strip in East Antarctica. Signing in for yet another cold shift. So I had this strange dream last day. I dreamt that I was marrying Ingrid, and the minister was this old vacuum cleaner, hell-bent on devouring the world one wedding at a time. "This is not right," he said. "No man should marry a robot. I might as well suck it all up." Mad vacuum cleaner. Me and Ingrid just stood there holding our hands. We were supposed to get married after all. Luckily I woke up to realize it was all just a dream, but still it was a bit strange to meet Ingrid during breakfast this evening, collecting my dirty plate and telling me the same joke she did yesterday, avoiding my eyes. But tomorrow I will definitely check her circuits. I think she has got rust in her, and all the signs are pointing towards it. I cannot have another episode with her. Anyways, it will all have to wait. I have preparations for the annual subparticle reset to do. And things might get a little bit off for a few days after the annual subparticle reset, but it has to be done in order to fix the hydrostatic equilibrium anomaly of the Earth. Because if I don't do the annual subparticle reset, we will flatten out, and I know a fluorescent spider or two who would argue against that. Shit, that reminds me actually, I have to bring them fresh heating pads. Just let me write that down really quickly. Husk varmeelement til edderkopp. Sorry for speaking Norwegian. It's just easier for me to write my to-do lists in Norwegian. I mean, what if I had a stroke and I forgot English? Then all my to-dos would be gibberish. I would get absolutely nothing done. So where was... Yes, the annual subparticle reset. Last time I did annual subparticle reset, about 2 years ago, the ice outside turned translucent. Really weird. It looked like the entire research facility was floating in thin air. And I could see everything beneath the ice. I could see the tunnels of the worms. I could see the pyramid. Even the 8 towers of the West Ocean floor. And it only lasted for a few days, but I managed to draw a map of it, which might come in handy one day if the yellow blue whale gets lost again. I mean, considering the electric blizzard, it just might. Speaking of blizzardry, I do hope Joshua is okay. I actually morsed him an invitation saying, "You're welcome to come over if the blizzard gets too strong." I'm all out of powdered milk. Other than that, I have everything I know he likes. He doesn't even have to come inside. We could hang outside in the pressure tank or explore the pyramid. I wouldn't have to do that alone. My point is, whatever we do, I would just think it would be nice to say hi and perhaps exchange ideas about space-time. Seeing as he is on the verge of faster than light travel, I might be able to go back in time and say goodbye to my parents.
Warning. Warning.
Oh,
Warning.
Ingrid!
Deep Earth Anomaly detected.
Ja. Come on, quiet.
Warning. Warning. Deep Earth
Okay.
Anomaly.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that. It's the submarine repositioning. Nothing to worry about, really. It just sounds a bit alarming. Ingrid came up with that joke, so I won't take the credit for it. But yeah, it's a submarine. It's a Dutch submarine, and I know the crew on board quite well. And man, let me tell you, they sing a lot of songs. And before the radio died, I spoke to them every Monday, and sometimes I even sang along to their songs. And I think it was my 12th year that they got me a ukulele, hoping I could accompany them. I'll play a song for you one day. I've been practicing it every Wednesday, and I'm dreaming of one day forming a band, perhaps with Frederick or Joshua, but I'm dreaming. I'm just dreaming, but yeah. I made good friends with the chef on board the submarine, Luke Safran. He's a retired race driver, half man, half machine, full badass. Let me tell you, his left hand is actually a scissor, I kid you not. The story is, before he became a submarine chef, he told me that he worked for the King of France, and the King of France wanted desserts for every meal, which was the perfect situation for the chef, as he was well known for his perfect pinch of sugar. He had perfected the move with his index and middle finger, always introducing the perfect amount of sugar into his desserts. The left-hand pinch prince, they called him. But now, eating dessert for every meal is not good for you, so the king's advisor whispered in the chef's ear, telling him to keep the king happy by making him desserts, but to make sure they had all the nutritions the body needs to function. After all, the king had a country to run, and without the king, the advisor had nobody to advise. In other words, no job. Because the king's son was eager to dismantle the advisory, keeping the king's decisions pure, if he would become king someday. But however, making desserts without sugar was no easy task. He asked me once, Luke, how do I make a crème brûlée sweet and savory without using sugar and vanilla? I mean, it's a fool's errand, he said. It's impossible. He even traveled far and wide to find suitable replacements, but nothing could really replace cream and sugar. Also, he got a bit worried that the king would notice, and by noticing, I mean removing the chef's head from his body. So he ignored the king's advisor, reminding him that he was the king's chef, not the king's advisor's chef. Now, what the king wanted, Luke would provide. So he began to prepare the best desserts that Holland could produce. He prepared Dutch apple tart, Dutch tompoes, Dutch bos bol, Dutch stroopwafel, Dutch poffertjes, Dutch oliebollen, Dutch vla, Dutch hang-up, and Dutch riesmeal pudding. Only the best of the best Holland could produce. Now, French chefs heard about Luc Safran, and to their best efforts, even working shifts, they sought to persuade the Dutch chef to come work for them. The finest restaurants in France all wanted him as head chef. But Luc told me that he had become too close to the king, and he was a loyal servant to the French kingdom, which was important to Luc. So he declined offers that most people would kill their grandmothers for, just to serve the king Dutch desserts. Now, unfortunately, the king suffered a stroke as a result from diabetes, and he passed away shortly after, quite violently. And the prince, now king, punished the chef by cutting off his left hand, replacing it with a scissor. And he said, "Try pinching sugar with a scissor, you scoundrel." And then he banished him from France forever. Poor Luc. And this led him down a dark hole of alcohol and women and gambling, before one day waking up on the bottom of the ocean in a Dutch submarine, singing songs. And now, every week, he used to send me recipes for Dutch desserts. But after I beat him with a rock in a game of rock, paper and scissors, he started to withhold one key ingredient in every dessert he sent me, just out of spite. So I have decided to let him win next time, to cheer him up. Because I miss the desserts, they're really tasty, scissor for hands or not. Anyway, the submarine got there the same time as I did, around 16 years ago, and they came here to test the pressure point of Dutch metal in sub-zero temperatures. It's the first of its kind and supposedly unsinkable. But after one of our Monday chats, their first officer told me to get on a secure line. He had a secret that he could not keep to himself any longer. Now, I don't like being a part of mutiny, but I mean, who can resist a good secret? That's half the reason why I came here, after all. Anyways, he told me that the metal isn't really Dutch. Only a handful of people know the true origin of it, and half of that handful went missing or insane. The other half of that handful is the nuclear engineer on board the submarine, Niels Kuiper, like the belt. And the rumor has it that the metal comes from the future, not Holland. It comes from a future where metal is the only thing keeping us separated from the heat, and personally, I don't know what to believe. All I know is that I have never seen a submarine maneuver in packed ice before, so if anything, I'm far more impressed with their propellers. I mean, the propellers will definitely be around in the future, I know that for sure. A handful of cockroaches, the propellers, and Ingrid, of course. Here forever and ever and ever. Anyways, the annual subparticle reset takes place in 2 days, and I have to find a way to inform the submarine before then, because I don't want them to think that they are flying in thin air, because if they did, most of their research on the metal would be based on faulty observations, so I need some help on that. Perhaps I should ask the tiny entities for advice, but I think they are too busy investigating the mystery surrounding the red finger beam. They're having such a good time, it makes me happy to watch. But yeah, I will figure it out somehow, how to reach the submarine, and if not, I'll just have to do the annual subparticle reset when everybody is asleep. That's not a bad idea. Anyways, fixing the radio is top priority, obviously, so I'll get on that first and foremost. But yeah, I think I'll log off for now, so I can sit down and think about all of this, like Frederick does. He's always thinking. Man, his head must ache with all of the thoughts he has. So yeah, this is Jaran, logging off yet another cold shift.